Get back to your seat before I have you arrested. You people need to learn where you belong. Rebecca Morrison's fingers dug into the child's arm. Hard. I'm sorry, ma'am. I just need to ask my mom if... Your mom? Rebecca laughed. Sharp, mocking. Sure she is. Probably bought that seat with food stamps. Now move. She yanked Elijah down the aisle. His backpack crashed against the armrests. His sneakers dragged. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Please, you're hurting me. Shut up. Kids like you always play victim. Her voice rose. Every passenger could hear. I've been doing this for 15 years. I know trash when I see it. Elijah's tears fell. Silent. His arm turned red where she gripped. From business class, a woman's voice, cold as steel. Let go of my son. Have you ever watched someone destroy a child, then watched that child's mother destroy their entire life seconds later? 3 hours earlier, Dr. Naomi Richardson closed her laptop in the Atlanta Airport lounge. Chief Operating Officer of Skyward Airlines. 18 years climbing from flight attendant to the executive suite. Today was her quarterly surprise inspection. No one on flight SW447 knew she was coming. She checked her watch. Boarding started in 20 minutes. Her phone buzzed. A photo from her mother. Elijah grinning at the gate, holding his spacebook. The caption read, "He's so excited for Chicago, says he wants to see the bean." Naomi smiled. Her son, 8 years old, curious about everything, kind to everyone. She'd raised him alone since Marcus died 3 years ago. Car accident, drunk driver. Some wounds never fully heal. She typed back, "Make sure he stays with you, Mom. If he needs anything, tell him to come find me in business class." Her mother replied instantly, "Will do. You worry too much." But Naomi is always worried. A black woman in corporate America. A single mother. She'd learned early. You couldn't afford mistakes. You worked twice as hard, smiled through twice as much. And you protected your child from a world that didn't always see his humanity. She gathered her things and headed to the gate. The aircraft smelled like recycled air and cleaning solution. Naomi slipped into seat 3A. Business class. She wore simple black slacks and a cream blouse. Professional but unremarkable. Her ID badge stayed hidden in her purse. That was the point of these inspections. See what really happened when no one knew the boss was watching. She pulled out her tablet. Customer satisfaction reports, complaint logs, employee performance metrics. Her eyes caught a name that appeared repeatedly. Rebecca Morrison, gate agent complaints, passenger feedback, 15 incidents in 18 months. Each one dismissed by the regional manager with notes like personality conflict or passenger overreacting. Naomi made a mental note. This crew today, she'd watch them closely. Down in economy, Elijah bounced in seat 18C. His grandmother settled beside him in 18B. She was already tired. The early morning flight, the airport crowds. She closed her eyes almost immediately after buckling in. Elijah didn't mind. He had his book. Chapter 7, Black Holes and Event Horizons. He read about gravity so strong that nothing escaped, not even light. A flight attendant pushed a cart past. Blonde hair pulled tight. Name tag read, Morrison. She stopped at row 16. A South Asian man asked for water. Rebecca's smile looked painted on. She handed him a cup, then muttered under her breath as she walked away. Can't even wait 5 minutes. The man's face fell. He heard her. Elijah watched. Something felt wrong. His mom always said, pay attention to how people treat others when they think no one important is watching. That's when you see who they really are. He went back to his book. Up in business class, Naomi observed the same interaction. She saw Rebecca's body language, the heavy sigh, the eye roll, the performative politeness that dripped with contempt. She opened her notes app, typed, Morrison, observe closely. Possible pattern behavior. Rebecca appeared in business class next, offering drinks. Her voice changed completely. Warm, bubbly. She laughed at a white passenger's joke, complimented another's dress. This was a different person than the one who'd just sneered at the economy. Naomi knew this routine. She'd lived it. The code switching, the mask. But Rebecca's version was inverted. Cruelty for some, charm for others. All based on what she saw when she looked at someone's face. The flight attendant walked past Naomi's row without a second glance. Didn't recognize her. Good. Naomi had been on hundreds of flights. She knew every regulation, every policy, every loophole. She'd written half of them herself when she became COO. Policy 4.7.3. Passenger dignity and non-discrimination. Zero tolerance for profiling. Mandatory intervention training for all crew. On paper, it was perfect. But paper didn't stop people like Rebecca Morrison. People who'd learned to hide their hatred just well enough. Who knew which complaints got buried? Who had friends in management willing to look the other way? Naomi had spent 3 years trying to change the culture from the top down. Training programs, oversight committees, anonymous reporting systems. Sometimes she wondered if it was working. An hour into the flight, Elijah felt the pressure in his bladder. He looked at his grandmother, still sleeping, mouth slightly open. She'd been up since 4 a.m. helping him pack. He remembered his mom's instructions. If you need anything, come find me. He unbuckled quietly, stood. His spacebook tucked under his arm. He started toward business class. Rebecca Morrison was restocking the beverage cart at row 12. She saw him coming. Rebecca's cart blocked the aisle. Metal. Heavy. Impossible to pass. Elijah stopped. Polite. Patient. "Excuse me, ma'am." She didn't look up. Ice clinked as she arranged bottles. Cans shifted. Her movements were sharp, deliberate, making him wait. "Ma'am?" His voice is smaller now. Rebecca straightened, looked down. Her eyes swept over him, taking inventory, his brown skin, his worn sneakers, his public school backpack. She'd already decided. "Where do you think you're going?" "I need to ask my mom if I can use the bathroom. She's in seat 3A. The laugh came quick, harsh. "Seat 3A? Business class?" She crossed her arms. "Sure she is, sweetheart, and I'm the Queen of England." "She really is. My mom is Dr. Richardson. She told me to come get her if—" "Doctor?" Rebecca's voice rose, loud enough for nearby passengers to hear. "Right. Dr. Richardson in business class, that's a good story." She leaned down. Her face was close to his. "You know what I think? I think you're making things up. I think your grandmother is sleeping right back there, and you're trying to sneak where you don't belong." Elijah's cheeks burned. "I'm not lying. My mom—" "Back to your seat. Now." Her hand landed on his shoulder. Firm. Too firm. "But I really need the bathroom. Should have thought of that before you decided to wander around." Her fingers tightened, steering him backward. Elijah tried to hold his ground. "Please, ma'am, just let me ask her." "I said move." She pushed. Not hard enough to knock him down, hard enough to make her point. A man in row 13 looked up from his tablet. "Hey, maybe just let the kid—" Rebecca's head snapped toward him. "Sir, I'm handling this. Please don't interfere with crew operations." The man hesitated, then looked back down, stayed silent. She turned back to Elijah. Her voice dropped, quieter now, more dangerous. "Listen carefully. These people always think the rules don't apply to them. Always got some story, some excuse. But on this aircraft, I make the rules. Understand?" Tears pricked Elijah's eyes. He blinked hard, tried to keep them back. "I just want my mom." Your mom is sleeping in the economy where she belongs. Now get back there before I call the air marshal. That's my grandma sleeping. My mom is... Rebecca's hand clamped around his upper arm. Both hands now, her nails dug through his sleeve. Enough! She pulled. Hard. Elijah stumbled backward. His backpack swung, hit an armrest. The corner caught, yanked him sideways. Rebecca didn't slow down, just pulled harder. Ow, you're hurting me! Then stop resisting. She dragged him past row 13, past 14. His feet struggled to keep up. One sneaker caught on the carpet. He almost fell. Please. Kids like you need to learn. Actions have consequences. Her voice carried down the aisle now, making sure everyone heard, making an example. Row 15. A woman gasped, pulled out her phone, started recording. Row 16. The South Asian man stood halfway. Miss, he's just a child. Sit down, sir. This is none of your concern. Row 17. Another passenger filming, then another. Elijah's tears fell now. He couldn't stop them. His arm throbbed where she gripped. His face burned with humiliation. Everyone was watching. Everyone saw him being dragged like he'd done something terrible. I didn't do anything wrong, he whispered. That's what they all say. His grandmother's voice cut through. What in God's name? She was standing now, fully awake, eyes wide. Let go of my grandson! Rebecca's grip tightened. Ma'am, your child was attempting to access restricted areas. Sit down, or you'll be reported for interfering. Restricted? He was going to find his mother. His mother in business class? Rebecca's laugh was cruel. Right. Ma'am, control your family or law enforcement will be waiting at the gate. His mother is in business class. Dr. Naomi Richardson. She's... Sure she is. Rebecca's tone dripped with disbelief. And I suppose she's a brain surgeon too? Maybe a lawyer? You people always have these elaborate stories. The words hung in the air. You people. Several passengers shifted uncomfortably. A younger flight attendant, Paige, appeared from the forward galley. Her eyes went wide. Rebecca, what's... I'm handling it. Rebecca didn't even look at her. Go check on business class. But maybe we should... I said I'm handling it. The steel in her voice made Paige flinch. Paige hesitated, looked at Elijah, looked at the passengers recording, then walked away. Said nothing. Did nothing. Elijah tried once more to pull free. You're hurting my arm. If you'd just listened from the start... Rebecca yanked him harder. His backpack fell, thudded on the floor. The space book slid out. Pages bent. My book. Forget the book. You're going back to your seat and you're staying there. And if I see you out of that seat again, I'm having security remove your entire family from this aircraft. Do you understand me? Elijah nodded, tears streaming, throat tight. His grandmother pushed past other passengers, reached them. Take your hands off him right now. Rebecca finally released him, but didn't step back, didn't apologize. Instead, she pulled out her radio. This is Morrison. I need the captain informed we have a disruptive passenger situation in the economy. Possible family removal upon landing. What? His grandmother's voice shook with rage. We haven't done anything. Your grandson violated FAA regulations by... He's 8 years old. He needed to use the bathroom. He refused to follow crew instructions. He attempted to access areas outside his ticketed class. And now you're being verbally aggressive toward the crew. Rebecca was building a case. Right there. Each word is calculated. That's 3 violations. A male flight attendant appeared. Young, black. Name tag read Marcus. His face showed immediate concern. Something wasn't right here. Rebecca, what's going on? Uncooperative passengers, I need you to get Captain Hendricks. Marcus looked at Elijah, at the red marks on his arm, at the tears on his face, at the grandmother shaking with fury. The passengers recorded everything. His instincts screamed this was wrong. Maybe we should just get the captain. Rebecca's words came through clenched teeth. Marcus met Elijah's eyes, saw something there, pain, confusion, innocence. He made a decision. I'll get him. He turned toward business class, started walking. That's when a voice came from behind him. Low, controlled, absolutely furious. What are you doing to my son? Everyone turned. A woman stood in the aisle. Business class. Seat 3A. Black, professional. Her face was a mask of barely contained rage. Rebecca's eyes narrowed. Ma'am, return to your seat. This is crew business. The woman didn't move, didn't blink. I asked you a question. What are you doing to my son? Rebecca's laugh was automatic, dismissive. Ma'am, I don't know what you think you... Elijah. The woman's voice softened, just for him. Come here, baby. Elijah broke into a run, nearly tripped over his backpack, crashed into his mother's arms. She knelt, held him. Her hands were gentle as she examined his arm. The red marks, the finger-shaped bruises are already forming. Did she do this to you? He nodded, couldn't speak, just cried into her shoulder. Naomi stood, slowly, her eyes locked on Rebecca. You put your hands on my child. Ma'am, your child was violating regulations. I have every right to To what? Assault an 8-year-old? Naomi's voice was ice. To drag him down an aisle because he asked to use the bathroom? He was trying to access business class without authorization. He was trying to find me. His mother. Like I told him to do if he needed anything. She took a step forward. Now, you're going to tell me your name and employee ID number. Rebecca's chin lifted. Defiant. Rebecca Morrison, employee 47293, 15 years with this airline. She paused. Let that sink in. And you are? Naomi didn't answer. Not yet. Are you aware of Company Policy 4.7.3 regarding passenger dignity and non-discrimination? Rebecca's eyes flickered. Uncertainty. Just a flash. I know the policies I need to know. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you just violated about 6 different regulations. You physically restrained a minor without cause. You used coded racist language. These people, where you belong, which multiple passengers recorded. You escalated instead of de-escalated. You threatened my family with removal based on 0 legitimate grounds. Naomi's voice never rose. Every word is precise. Deadly. Should I continue? I don't have to explain myself to you. But Rebecca's confidence was cracking. Something about this woman, the way she spoke, the way she carried herself. Actually, you do. Naomi pulled out her phone, made a call. This is Richardson. I need security standing by at gate C14 in Chicago. Priority situation. She ended the call, looked back at Rebecca. Now, where were we? Marcus had stopped walking, turned back. His face showed recognition, slowly, then completely. Dr. Richardson? Rebecca's head snapped toward him. What? This is Dr. Naomi Richardson. Marcus's voice was quiet, certain. Chief Operating Officer? The color drained from Rebecca's face. The cabin went silent. Even the engine noise seemed to fade. Rebecca's mouth opened, closed, opened again. No, that's not what? Naomi's voice remained level, calm, the kind of calm that comes before a storm. Not possible. Not what you expected. I mean... Rebecca's hands started shaking. She clasped them together. If I'd known... Know what? That I had authority? Naomi took another step closer. So it's acceptable to abuse a child as long as his mother can't fight back? No, that's not what I meant. It's not... Rebecca's voice climbed higher, desperate. I was just doing my job. He was out of his seat. Protocol says treat every passenger with dignity. Protocol says de-escalate. Protocol says never use physical force unless there's an immediate safety threat. Naomi's eyes were steel. Was my 8-year-old son a safety threat? Rebecca looked around, searching for support, for backup, for anything. The passengers stared back. Every phone is still recording. Paige stood frozen near the galley. Marcus waited, watching. He wouldn't listen. He kept trying to push past my cart. He's a child. He needed the bathroom. He was coming to ask permission from his mother. Naomi knelt again, put her hand on Elijah's shoulder. Did you try to push past her cart, baby? Elijah shook his head. His voice came small, broken. I said, excuse me. I was polite. I promise, Mommy. I know you were. She kissed his forehead, stood back up. Her eyes found Rebecca again. He said, excuse me. He explained where he was going, and you decided to physically drag him. Why? I thought he was lying. Why? The question hung there, heavy. Everyone knew the answer. No one wanted to say it. Rebecca's face flushed red. It wasn't about... I've had passengers lie before about... About what? Naomi pressed. About being in business class? About having family there? Or about having the right to be treated like a human being? You're twisting my words. Am I? Naomi pulled out her phone, pulled up a file. Your personnel record shows 27 complaints in 15 years. 24 of those complaints were from passengers of color. That's 89%. Want to explain that statistical anomaly? Rebecca's eyes went wide. How do you... Those were all resolved. HR cleared me every time. HR buried them. Your brother-in-law is the regional manager, Dennis Morrison. He flagged every complaint as unsubstantiated without proper investigation. Naomi's voice got quieter, more dangerous. I've been reviewing those files for 3 months, waiting to see if the pattern continued. She looked around the cabin, at the passengers, on the phone. Thank you for removing all doubt. Rebecca's legs looked unsteady. She grabbed the nearest seat back for support. Please, Dr. Richardson, I have 2 kids in college. I have a mortgage. This job is everything. And my son is everything to me. But you didn't think about that when you put your hands on him, did you? I made a mistake. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. Naomi's grandmother stepped forward. Her voice shook with fury. You called us you people. You said he needed to learn his place. You said we bought our tickets with food stamps. Rebecca spun toward her. I never said... I recorded it. A passenger in row 14 held up his phone. Got the whole thing. Audio's crystal clear. Me too. Row 15. I got the part where she grabbed him. Row 16. Rebecca looked around wildly, trapped. You can't... Those recordings are... Passengers aren't allowed to... Actually, they are. Marcus spoke up. He'd pulled out his tablet. FAA regulations allow passenger documentation of crew interactions. Section 4.9.2. Rebecca's face twisted, anger replacing fear. Of course you'd side with her. You people always stick together. The words fell like acid. Marcus's face went hard. Excuse me? You heard me. This is about race. That's all this is. Stop talking. Naomi's voice cut like a blade. Right now. Stop talking. But Rebecca was spiraling. I've given 15 years to this company. 15 years. And now one complaint and I'm... 27 complaints, Naomi corrected. 27 people tried to tell your supervisors you were abusing your authority. 27 people were ignored. She paused. Let that sink in. And one of those complaints was from me. Rebecca froze. 7 years ago, Boston to Miami wrote, I was deadheading home. You spilled coffee on me, called me uppity when I asked for napkins. Naomi's voice was steady, but pain bled through. Said maybe I should fly coach if I couldn't handle business class standards. Rebecca's face went white. I don't remember. Of course you don't. It was nothing to you. Just another day. Naomi's hands clenched. I filed a complaint. Dennis Morrison offered me 5,000 miles to drop it. I took them. I told myself I'd change things when I had power. She looked at Elijah, at the marks on his arm. I got that power. And today, you gave me the evidence I needed. The cockpit door opened. Captain Hendricks emerged, gray at the temples. He looked annoyed, rushed. Then he saw Naomi. Recognition hit him like a wall. Dr. Richardson. His voice changed completely. I didn't know you were on this flight. Surprise inspection, Captain. She gestured to Rebecca. Ms. Morrison has provided quite the demonstration. Hendricks looked between them. Saw Elijah crying. Saw the grandmother furious. Saw the passengers with phones. His jaw tightened. Tell me what happened. Rebecca jumped in first, words tumbling out. Captain, there's been a misunderstanding. The child was out of his seat. I asked him to return. His family is making false... Captain! Naomi's voice cut through. Calm. Clear. Ms. Morrison physically assaulted my 8-year-old son. She used racist language. She violated policies 4.7.3, 6.2.1, and 8.9.4. Multiple passenger recordings confirm it. Hendricks closed his eyes briefly. Ms. Morrison, did you put your hands on a passenger? Rebecca hesitated. He needed to return to his seat. I was... Yes or no? Yes, but... Did you use force? Her voice got smaller. I guided him. Yes or no? Yes. Barely a whisper. Hendricks turned to Marcus. Escort Ms. Morrison to the rear galley. She's relieved of duty immediately. No passenger contact. Captain, please. Rebecca reached for him. That's an order. Marcus stepped forward. Ms. Morrison, this way. Rebecca looked around one last time, at Naomi, at Elijah, at the passengers. Then she walked, head down, hands trembling. Hendricks waited until they were gone, turned to Naomi. Dr. Richardson, I'm so sorry. You couldn't have known. That's why I fly incognito. She touched Elijah's hair. But now you do know. Paige still stood nearby, frozen. Naomi looked at her. You saw everything, didn't you? Paige's face crumpled. Yes. And you said nothing. I didn't know what to do. Rebecca's friends with management, people who speak up get pushed out. Tears formed. I'm sorry. You should have stopped her. That's going in your report, too. Paige nodded, accepted it. Hendricks pulled out his radio. I need security and supervisors at Gate C-14. Situation requiring immediate action. He looked at Naomi. What else do you need? Medical for my son. Documentation of injuries. Contact information for everyone who recorded. And I want Morrison escorted off this aircraft the moment we land. Understood. Naomi knelt in front of Elijah, cupped his face. You okay, baby? He nodded, eyes still wet. Mom? Why did she hate me? The question broke her heart. She pulled him close. She doesn't hate you. She hates herself. People who hate themselves try to make everyone else feel small. She kissed his head. What she did says everything about her and nothing about you. Understand? I think so. Good. She stood, took his hand, looked at her mother. Mom, take him back to your seats. Her mother nodded, led Elijah away. Marcus picked up the spacebook, smoothed the pages, brought it to Elijah. Here you go, buddy. Black holes, huh? Cool topic. Elijah managed a small smile. Thanks. They disappeared down the aisle. Naomi turned back to Hendricks. Professional mask in place. Captain, when we land, I'll need your full cooperation. Cockpit recordings, flight data, crew statements, everything. You'll have it. How's your crew usually? Any concerns? He hesitated. Morrison's been difficult, but management always backed her, made questioning her not worth the trouble. That ends today. Yes, ma'am. Naomi walked back to business class, sat down, pulled out her phone, found the CEO's direct line. The call connected after one ring. Naomi, what's wrong? Richard, we have a problem. By the time we land, it's going to be national news. She told him everything. The aircraft descended through clouds. Chicago skyline visible through windows. 20 minutes to landing. In the rear galley, Rebecca sat on a jump seat. Marcus stood nearby, silent. She'd tried talking 3 times. He'd said nothing, just stood there. Her phone buzzed. Text from Dennis, her brother-in-law, the regional manager. What the hell happened? Corporate just called? Are you insane? Her fingers shook, typing back. I didn't know who she was. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. That doesn't matter. You put hands on a kid. On her kid. I can't protect you from this. Rebecca stared at the screen. Can't protect you. The words made her stomach drop. 15 years of immunity. Gone in 15 minutes. Up in business class, Naomi ended her call with CEO Richard Carter. He'd listened without interrupting. Send me everything, he'd said. Videos, witness statements, her file, before you land. You'll have it. Naomi. His voice softened. How's Elijah? Scared. Hurt. Confused. She looked toward the economy. He asked me why she hated him. Richard exhaled slowly. We're going to fix this. All of it. Now she sat organizing files. The videos from passengers uploaded to her secure server. 6 different angles. Crystal clear audio. Rebecca saying, these people, and learn your place. Elijah's tears. The red marks. Evidence that couldn't be buried. Her phone buzzed. Text from Marcus. 2 words. She's breaking. Naomi stood. Walked toward the back. Past her mother and Elijah. Her son had his head on his grandmother's shoulder, eyes closed, exhausted from crying. She reached the rear galley. Rebecca looked up, face blotchy, mascara smeared. She'd been crying. Dr. Richardson, please, can we talk? Naomi crossed her arms. Talk. I know I messed up, but please understand. I've been under stress. My daughter's tuition is due. My son needs surgery. My husband lost his job. Words tumbling fast, desperate. I can't lose this job. We'll lose everything. You should have thought about that before. I didn't know. If I'd known who you were... There it is. Naomi's voice went cold. If you'd known I had power, you would have behaved differently. But any other black child? Fair game. Rebecca's mouth opened. Closed. That's what you're really saying. Sorry you got caught. Not sorry for what you did. No, I'm sorry for both. I am! Rebecca stood. Please, I'll do anything. Training, community service, public apology, whatever you want. Just don't fire me. Naomi studied her. This woman who'd terrorized her child, who'd done it 26 times before to others. You know what the worst part is? Naomi's voice was quiet, sad. You don't even see it. Every complaint in your file represents a real person, real humiliation, real pain. She pulled out her phone, showed a file. Janet Williams, 4 years ago. Black woman flying to her mother's funeral. You made her move seats 3 times. She missed saying goodbye because she got off the plane. Rebecca's face went pale. Marcus Thompson, 12 years old. You accused him of stealing headphones, made his father empty his bag in front of everyone. They were in the seat pocket. Naomi scrolled. Dr. James Carter, 6 months ago. You told him to move to economy. Needed his seat for a real business class passenger. He was already in his assigned seat. She lowered the phone. 27 complaints, 27 people. And Dennis Morrison made them all disappear. Rebecca was crying now, full sobs. I never meant. Yes, you did. You meant every word. Because you had the uniform. You had authority. Naomi stepped closer. But authority is temporary, borrowed, conditional. She held up her phone, showed the screen. Rebecca Morrison. Status, suspended pending investigation. As of 10 minutes ago, you have no authority, no uniform, no protection. Rebecca stared, the finality hitting her. What happens now? You land. Security escorts you to an office. You give a statement, then you go home and wait. Naomi's voice was professional, flat. Investigation takes 2 weeks. You'll be interviewed by HR, legal, and an external ethics board. Every complaint re-examined. Every person you hurt contacted me. And then? Then the company decides. But I'm the COO. I make the recommendation. Naomi met her eyes. Termination, for cause, no severance, no references, and I'm forwarding everything to the FAA for certification review. Rebecca's legs gave out. She sat hard on the jump seat. You're taking everything. No, you took everything. From 27 people. Naomi's voice was ice. I'm making sure you can't take from anyone else ever again. The announcement came. Captain Hendricks. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. Naomi turned to Marcus. Stay with her until the gate. Don't let her talk to passengers. Yes, ma'am. Naomi walked back, past passengers who'd recorded, past ones who'd stayed silent, past her mother and son. She sat, buckled in, felt the descent begin. Her phone buzzed, text from Richard Carter. Security confirmed. The media's already at the gate. This is going to be big. Naomi typed back, Good. Let it be big. Let everyone see what happens when you abuse the powerless. She sent it. Looked out the window. The city grew closer. 15 years Rebecca had gotten away with it. 15 years of buried complaints. Not anymore. The wheels touched down. Smooth. Final. Justice had landed. The aircraft rolled to gate C-14. The seatbelt sign dinged off. Passengers stayed seated, watching, waiting. Through the window, Naomi saw them. 3 security officers, 2 skyward supervisors, and cameras. News crews with lights and microphones. Word had traveled fast. Captain Hendricks spoke over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, remain seated. We have personnel who need to deplane first. Thank you for your cooperation. The door opened. 2 officers boarded. A woman followed. Senior Vice President Kathleen Brooks. She walked straight to Naomi. Dr. Richardson? Kathleen? Richard called. Is Elijah okay? Physically, yes. Emotionally? Naomi shook her head. We'll see. Where's Morrison? Rear galley. Kathleen nodded to the officers. They moved down the aisle. Passengers watched. Phones recording. In the galley, Rebecca looked up, saw the uniforms, started crying. Ms. Morrison, the lead officer's voice was neutral. Come with us. Am I being arrested? No, ma'am. Security office for questioning. They escorted her down the aisle. Every passenger watched. Rebecca kept her head down, tried to hide her face. Row 18. She passed Elijah. Their eyes met for a second. Rebecca's face crumpled. She looked away, kept walking. At the door, cameras flashed. News crews shouted, Ms. Morrison, did you assault a child? Do you have a statement? Security pushed through, led Rebecca down the jetway. Cameras followed. Inside, Kathleen approached Elijah, knelt in the aisle, gentle. Hi, Elijah. I'm Kathleen. I work with your mom. Soft smile. I heard you had a scary experience. I'm so sorry. Would it be okay if a doctor checked your arm? He looked at his grandmother. She squeezed his hand. It's okay, baby. Okay, he whispered. Kathleen spoke into her radio. Send medicine to the gate, pediatric if possible. She turned to Naomi. Private room ready, medical examination, documentation. Then you can take him home. What about passenger statements? Already collecting contact information. We'll have formal statements by tonight. Naomi looked around the cabin, made eye contact with the man in row 14. Thank you, she said, loud enough for others to hear. All of you who recorded, who spoke up, thank you. A woman in row 16 spoke. I have a son his age. What she did... Voice cracking. I'll testify anywhere. Me too, said the man in row 14. And me. Row 15. One by one. Voices, witnesses, people refusing to look away. Passengers began deplaning. Many stopped, touched Naomi's shoulder, knelt by Elijah, told him he was brave. Not his fault. An older white woman stopped, tears in her eyes. I should have said something sooner. I'm sorry. Naomi looked at her. You're saying something now. That matters. Finally, the cabin was empty. Kathleen gestured to the door. Ready? Naomi took Elijah's hand. Her mother took his other hand. They walked together, past the seat where it happened, past the galley. At the gate, a paramedic waited. Young woman, soft smile. Hi, I'm Sarah. Mind if I look at that arm? Elijah nodded. They moved to a private room. Sarah examined him gently, took photos of the bruising, 5 distinct finger marks, clear as day. You're going to be okay, sweetheart, Sarah said. These will fade in a few days. She looked at Naomi. I'm documenting this as evidence of assault. Photos and report filed with airport police and legal. Thank you. Sarah gave Elijah a sticker, a cartoon airplane. He took it, didn't smile, just held it. Kathleen's phone buzzed. She read, looked at Naomi. Morrison just gave her statement, claims it was a misunderstanding, says she used minimal force for safety. Naomi's jaw tightened. Of course. Doesn't matter. We have 6 videos that contradict her. Kathleen showed her phone. And this just went viral. 4 million views. Hashtag Skyward Abuse is trending. Naomi saw the screen. Rebecca dragging Elijah. The confrontation. The recognition moment. The internet had decided. Swift. Brutal. Final. What about Paige? Suspended. 5 days without pay. Mandatory retraining. Naomi nodded. I want to take my son home. Of course. Kathleen handed her a card. My direct line. Call any time. They collected their bags, walked through the terminal. People stared. Most gave them space. At baggage claim, Naomi's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages, emails, news requests. She silenced it. Elijah held her hand tight. "Mom, are we in trouble?" "No, baby, we're not. She is." "Good." His voice is small but certain. "She was mean." "Yes, but she can't be mean to anyone else now." They got in the car. Naomi adjusted the mirror. Saw Elijah in back. Safe, but changed. She'd get him therapy, help him process, do everything right. But some wounds don't fully heal. She started the engine, pulled out, headed home. Behind them, Rebecca Morrison sat in a security office, waiting. Career over. Life unraveling. Justice moved fast when it finally came. 3 days later, the video had 20 million views. Every major network covered it. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. They all showed the same footage. Rebecca dragging Elijah. Her words. "These people. Learn your place." The public reaction was immediate, brutal. Skyward Airlines stock dropped 4%. Boycott hashtags trended. Activist groups organized airport protests. The NAACP demanded systemic change. Rebecca's face was everywhere. Memes, think pieces, Twitter threads. Someone found her Facebook. Screenshots of old posts, coded racist language. Complaints about certain people ruining flights. Her life became public property. Day 4. The Department of Transportation opened an investigation. Federal violation of passenger rights. The FAA followed. Review of her certification. Day 5. The FBI Civil Rights Division got involved. Hate incident on federal aircraft. Naomi received constant calls, reporters, lawyers, advocacy groups. She declined the most. Released one statement through Skyward's PR. "What happened to my son happens to black families every day, usually without cameras. Without witnesses willing to speak, without parents who have power to demand accountability. This isn't about one bad employee. This is about systems that protect racism." The statement went viral. Day 7. Skyward announced a comprehensive internal investigation. External ethics firm hired. Former federal judge leading review. Every complaint in Rebecca's 15-year file would be re-examined. Dennis Morrison, regional manager, placed on administrative leave. His emails were subpoenaed. Evidence damning. "Bury this one too, she's just another angry passenger." "Morrison's good. Don't let them ruin her career over nothing." 27 complaints. 27 times he'd chosen his sister-in-law over justice. Day 10. Other victims came forward. Janet Williams, the woman who missed her mother's funeral. Tearful ABC News interview. "I never got to say goodbye to my mama, because that woman decided I didn't belong." Marcus Thompson's father on CBS, his son beside him, 12 years old. "He stopped wanting to fly. Said he didn't feel safe. He's 12. He shouldn't feel that way." Dr. James Carter on NPR, calm, measured. "I'm a cardiac surgeon. I've saved hundreds of lives. But to her, I wasn't good enough for business class." One by one, 27 voices, no longer silenced. Day 14. State prosecutors filed charges: assault and battery of a minor, child endangerment, civil rights violation with federal enhancement. Rebecca's lawyer issued a statement. Stress, anxiety, deep regret. Good person who made a mistake. The internet didn't buy it. Day 21. Trial date set. 3 months away. Cook County Criminal Court. Naomi met with prosecution. Brought everything. Videos, medical photos, passenger statements, personnel files, emails. Lead prosecutor Angela Rivera. Black woman, 30 years experience, civil rights specialist. Strongest case I've seen in a decade, Angela said. Watched the videos again, shook her head. Jury will convict in under an hour. What's she facing? 18 months in the county jail, suspended to 6 with good behavior, 5 years probation, community service, mandatory counseling, permanent ban from authority over minors. Her certification? The FAA will revoke it. She'll never work in aviation again. Angela met Naomi's eyes. She's done, completely. Naomi nodded. Should have felt satisfying. Just felt necessary. Day 45. Skyward released investigation results. Press conference. CEO Richard Carter at the podium. We failed, Richard said. No hedging, no corporate speak. We failed 27 passengers. We failed our black employees. We failed our values. He announced changes. Mandatory body cameras for crew. Real-time complaint tracking. Third-party review board. Zero tolerance with teeth. Rebecca Morrison's employment was terminated. Dennis Morrison's employment terminated. 4 other managers are under investigation. He looked at cameras. To everyone hurt by our failures, I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. But it's where we start. Media response is cautiously positive. Some praised transparency. Others said too little, too late. Day 60. Dennis Morrison charged with fraud and obstruction. Using position to protect his sister-in-law, destroying evidence, intimidating complainants. His lawyer tried negotiating. Prosecutors refused. Too public, too clear. Day 90. Trial day. The courthouse was packed. Media everywhere. Protesters outside with signs. Justice for Elijah. Black children matter. Naomi sat in the front row. Elijah home with grandmother. Too young. Too traumatized. Prosecution presented. Video after video. The jury watched Rebecca drag Elijah. Heard her words. Saw his tears. Several jurors cried. Angela called witnesses. Passengers who recorded, Marcus the flight attendant, the paramedic, then Janet Williams, Marcus Thompson's father, Dr. James Carter, one by one. Pattern undeniable. Rebecca's defense was weak. Stress, overwork, misunderstanding. Jury didn't buy it. Angela's closing was devastating. Played the video one final time. This is who Rebecca Morrison is when she thinks no one important is watching. This is what she does with power over the powerless. Angela pointed at the screen. That boy asked politely, explained, tried to comply. She brutalized him anyway. Why? Because she could. Because she thought she'd get away with it. Because she had 27 times before. Silence. Send a message. Tell every Rebecca Morrison in every uniform, we see you. We're recording. You will be held accountable. The jury deliberated 43 minutes. Guilty. All counts. Rebecca collapsed. Her lawyer caught her. The judge called recess. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Judge Maria Hernandez looked at Rebecca. Something like pity, then hardened. Ms. Morrison, you abused trust to terrorize a child because of his race. 15 years to change. You chose not to. This court finds your actions reprehensible and your remorse hollow. 18 months county jail. Suspended to 6 with good behavior. 5 years probation. 500 hours of community service with children's advocacy. Permanent aviation ban. Mandatory bias training. Rebecca led away in handcuffs. Outside, Naomi gave a brief statement. This verdict doesn't erase what my son experienced, but it says clearly, abuse of power has consequences. Racism has consequences. Silence has consequences. Pause. To the 26 other victims, I see you. Your pain mattered. Your complaints mattered. You were telling the truth all along. Crowd applauded. Naomi walked to her car, got in, drove home. Justice served. Finally. Completely. But she knew the work wasn't done. One Rebecca Morrison, one airline, one system exposed. How many more are still hidden? She'd keep fighting, keep changing policies, keep refusing to accept that children should feel less than human. That was the real work. Justice beyond courtrooms, just beginning, 6 months later. Naomi and Elijah walked through Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Same terminal, different energy. Elijah's hand was in hers, not clutching, not afraid, just holding. Gate B7, Skyward Airlines flight to Chicago. Same route. Everything had changed. The gate agent smiled. Young black woman, new uniform, body camera visible on her chest. "Good morning, Dr. Richardson." "Good morning, Elijah." Her voice is genuine. "We're honored to have you flying with us." Elijah smiled back, small but real. They boarded early. Flight attendants greeted them. Diverse crew. One knelt to Elijah's level. "Hi there, I'm Jessica. If you need anything at all, just let me know, okay?" "Okay, thank you." Business class. Together this time. Elijah pulled out a new book. The Universe Explained. Chapter on Galaxies. Captain's voice over the intercom. "Good morning. Captain Williams here. Smooth skies to Chicago today." Pause. "I want to acknowledge special passengers with us. Dr. Richardson and her son Elijah. Their courage 6 months ago changed our industry, made us better. Thank you for flying with us again." The cabin applauded. Elijah looked at his mom, embarrassed but proud. "Mom." She squeezed his hand. "You were brave, baby." "Still are." The flight was smooth, peaceful. Elijah read, asked about black holes. Naomi answered. They laughed together. When he needed the bathroom, a flight attendant walked with him, made sure he was comfortable, brought him back safely. Small things. They mattered. Landing in Chicago, Naomi thought about everything that changed. Rebecca Morrison served 4 months, released early. Now working retail, divorced, estranged from her children. A cautionary tale. Dennis Morrison convicted, 18 months federal prison, lost everything. But the real change was bigger. Skyward became industry leader in passenger rights. Other airlines followed. American, Delta, United, all implemented body cameras. Independent review boards, Elijah's Law pending in Congress, transparency in aviation incident reporting, named after her son, Marcus was promoted, in-flight services manager, led diversity training nationwide, taught others to intervene, Paige completed retraining, now actively intervened. Never stay silent, never. The 6 recording passengers got lifetime companion passes. More importantly, they learned about witnessing matters. Janet Williams flew to her mother's grave, posted a photo. "Finally got to say goodbye, Mama. Justice took time, but it came." Marcus Thompson, the 12-year-old, started flying again. His father sent Naomi a photo, the boy smiling. "He feels safe again. Thank you." Dr. James Carter wrote an op-ed. "Individual courage revealed systemic rot. But we need structural change, accountability in every system." Required reading in aviation management programs now. Naomi's book, Turbulence to Transformation, hit bestseller lists. She donated proceeds to civil rights organizations, to families without platforms, without power. Deplaning in Chicago, Elijah walked confidently. No fear. Just a boy who survived and came out stronger. A young black mother approached. Her son is beside her. "Dr. Richardson?" Voice shaking. "Thank you. My son and I were on a flight last month. The flight attendant was rude, started escalating. But another passenger spoke up, recorded. Said they knew our rights. Said they'd seen what happened to you and wouldn't let it happen again." She wiped tears. Because of you, my son didn't go through what yours did. Naomi hugged her. That's what justice looks like. Not just punishing the guilty, teaching everyone to do better. The woman left. Her son waved at Elijah. Elijah waved back. They collected bags, headed to the car. Naomi looked at Elijah in the mirror. How do you feel? He thought about it. Good. It was good, Mom. The flight attendants were nice. It felt normal. Normal. That's all she'd wanted. For her son to feel safe. Valued. She started the engine. Her phone buzzed. Text from Angela Rivera. 3 more airlines adopted the Skyward protocols. Change is spreading. Naomi smiled. Typed back. Good, but we're not done. But we're not. Ye, never done. But we're winning. Progress. Definitely. Naomi drove. Elijah hummed in the back seat. She thought about Rebecca. The 27 victims. Every person is made to feel small by someone with a uniform and a grudge. About systems that protected power instead of people. About how one video, one voice, one refusal could change everything. Baby, you know what you taught me? What? Power isn't just about who's in charge. It's about who decides enough is enough. He looked up. I decided? You did. When you asked for help. When you told the truth. When you didn't let her make you feel ashamed. That was power. He nodded. Cool. They drove home. Together. Safe. Changed but not broken. Behind them, an industry reformed. Policies rewritten. Camera recording. Witnesses watching. Justice wasn't a moment. It was a movement. And it started with one mother who refused to let her child be invisible. If this story moved you, share it. For every child who needs to know, your dignity is non-negotiable. Comment below. Have you witnessed discrimination in travel? Like if you believe accountability matters. Subscribe for stories where justice prevails. Share with someone who needs reminding. Speaking up changes everything. Here's my question. If Rebecca Morrison had dragged your child down that aisle, and no one with power was watching, would your story end differently? How many Rebecca Morrisons are still out there? Protected, enabled, unchallenged? Power isn't just authority. It's refusing to accept that anyone deserves less than dignity. Sometimes that person is a CEO. Sometimes it's just a mother who said enough. Justice delayed is justice denied. But justice documented is justice delivered.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.